Welcome to another episode of Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition, Tomb of Annihilation. Today is episode 37.
Wow, really? We've been playing this
37.
campaign a long time.
Yep. Titled There and Back Again. So, when last we left off, the party fought, and defeated a smaller, but still very dangerous, red dragon. And then told the kobolds it's time that they move out, because otherwise they're pretty much going to get slaughtered by the dwarves that are moving back in.
A little genocide, you know, it's fine.
Just a little. And we're bringing one back with us to crown that one as king to his queen, the Centaur. I have no idea. But we got a whole lot of loot, so much so that we couldn't even carry it all, and we even left some for the kobolds. And then if there's anything left, we're going to leave it for the dwarves. But yeah, it was quite
so
impressive.
are you guys basically installing a shadow government in the kobold society?
Something like that. We've got our man.
I see.
So, we're just making sure that if anything goes wrong, it's in our favor. Anyway, let's do some introductions, and then we can hand this over to the DM. Speaking of, Kashcah.
Hi, I'm Kashcah. I'm DMing this crazy campaign.
Indeed.
That never ends.
That's the fun part in my mind.
There's no escape.
Well, there is, but maybe feet first.
Ooh. All right, and then moving straight up from Kashcah, we have Gao, who is our kobold captive / friend, who we currently have sitting on the back. What's that?
He's about to be installed as the figurehead of
exactly of the kobold faction. Yes, and then really, I got, the pugs are already whining at me. On your beds, go on. It's pretty bad. So next to Gao, we have Rorax, who normally plays Aelia, but she will not be able to join us today. Aelia is the Centaur Cleric of the Grave, who abhors undead, and has decided to join us on our journey / quest after we rescued her from slavery at some point, or intended slavery, not to say that she was going to be enslaved. And next to her, we have Nerevar.
Yeah, that's me. I will be playing as Tobias Salazar, who is not yet some ordinary human, but he is commanding his eidolon Arokh Ironscale, who was basically a dragon.
Yup. And tried to convince that red dragon to join us, and the option instead was or die.
She died.
She chose column B.
And of course, both Nerevar and Rorax run their own streaming channels on Twitch. Check down below for the details. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you'll have information in the links below, because Rorax also runs a YouTube channel called RoraxPlays. And then next to Nerevar, we have Kellisto, who also will not be able to join us today, as she has some other commitments that she needs to see to. But she plays a half druid, no, just kidding, a half elf druid who was raised in the wild and came along on our crazy quest for all the loot that she could pocket and the ale that she could drink. Next to her, we have Lyssa.
I am playing Valia, Bonesmasher.
You sure?
Pull up my sheet here. Yeah. Valia, Bonesmasher. I am a Lizardfolk Barbarian that likes to eat things.
Indeed. And then, and she basically was kind of taking the brunt of the dragon attacks there, thankfully. And yeah.
Yeah.
And then next to her, we've got myself and Vallen. I will be playing Ulfgar, Holderheck, a Dwarven Bard of the Emerald Enclave, and tends to be the self-proclaimed leader of the group, though that often is questioned regularly and is welcomed. Anyway, let's get into this mess. So now we've got a very long trek to get back to the Dwarven Hold. And this time we don't have the fun downhill cart ride that we did before. And in fact, we don't have any beasts of burden to help just cart us back either. As last time, it was discussed that Tobias and Ulfgar were sitting down for a few hours and using what magic knowledge and magics they had to try and identify the magical items that they were given. In fact, oh crap, I can't pull that up or else I lose your guys' images. But we were able to identify all the items.
Hang on, let me help you.
What's that?
Let me help you.
Yeah, I think you might have it. We were able to identify all the items thanks to Tobias being a little bit better in our arcane knowledge, though Ulfgar was able to donate a little bit of help in his efforts. And we believe that there is a new weapon / toy in this group that might be fun for a certain barbarian lizardfolk, I would think.
Shall I reveal it?
The Warhammer? I think that would, yeah. I think you should at least paste that.
All the items.
Well, let's do it one at a time. So, can you reveal the Warhammer? And then we'll get to then we'll do the circlet and stuff. Actually, I don't know that we know everything about the circlet. We just know that goes to Kellisto because it helps with druidy stuff.
Yeah. The Warhammer was definitely used by some fierce warrior. There's a little bit dried blood on it still.
Yep.
Yeah, and
Helm Hammerhand. Oh.
What?
and I think it will suit Valia.
I agree.
So, interested?
Yes, I am very interested.
Which I think a Warhammer. What's the stats on a Warhammer? Regular Warhammer is
1d8 bludgeoning, and it's a versatile weapon. 1d8 one-handed or 1d10 two-handed. Which I will do one-handed because I have a shield.
Yeah, and as I'm passing you the Warhammer, you feel much stronger than before.
Yay!
And there's what I can tell you about this Warhammer.
Yeah. Then Ulfgar, upon seeing that, says, if you don't mind, I'd like to have these two. And he points at the helm and the battle axe.
So
that's kind of greedy. Just saying. 2 items.
Mm-hmm. It is. Says, I think, if only because if she's swinging that Warhammer like I think she's going to, and I'm standing next to her, it might be a good idea if I've got that on my head.
Yeah, but better safe than sorry.
And then, which the hell?
When does Ulfgar get to the front of the battle? That's what I would like to know.
Yeah, me too.
Hey, how many times have I stabbed things with my rapier, and she's been stabbing things with her javelin?
I feel like those were moments of desperation.
Hey, if I'd have figured out, if Ulfgar would have figured out that the dragon was not casting any kind of fear effect sooner, he probably would have been up there a little bit sooner.
Mm-hmm. We believe you.
Hey.
Okay. Then, for me, I like to keep that copper mug. It most likely reminded me about this jug that we gave off in exchange for Vorn.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, the circlet goes to Kellisto. And then,
yeah, but we yet to discover what exactly it is doing.
Oh, the circlet?
Yeah, the circlet.
Yeah, I don't think that we're able to actually determine all of the stuff about it, just a general sense to do with, what was it, some of her shape-shifting, something along those lines?
You discovered that it empowers her wild shape abilities.
There you go.
Beefs them up a bit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Makes her beefy.
But I would like to test something with the copper mug.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Do we have that poison?
I don't know. Do you have any poison? I don't happen to normally keep that on me, you know.
I remember we had a couple vials of poison. But that weren't from the previous horde.
From which horde?
From the horde of the dragon skeleton that was sitting in a marsh.
I don't think that I took any of that. I have a cheery potion. I think someone else has it, or it's in the bag of holding.
Valia?
Well,
Sorry, what?
do you have poison in the bag of holding?
No, we don't have any potions in there.
Not potions, poison.
Yeah, potions, poison. We don't have none of that in there. I think all we had was items, and I think Callisto has a list of items.
There's a label on the bag of holding that says "No glass, please."
Yes. No glass in the bag of holding.
Only recyclables.
I do think Callisto has it, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, she might have it. She has a list of the stuff, though.
And I think Callisto would say, what are you going to do with it?
I just want to pour a couple drops into the copper mug.
Are you going to taint it? I thought that it might actually create something useful to drink.
Something is a little bit off. It resembles that jug, but I'm not sure if it would provide liquids from a thin air.
So
it may duplicate liquids or just do nothing.
So that to describe it, it's like one of those metal tankards with a lid on it, you know. So you can like use the little thing by the handle, and it opens the lid up. And when you look in there right now, it's empty. Oh, there is a dwarven rune on the side of it. And Ulfgar, you recognize this as saying the rune says "fill"
on the outside of it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It does say "fill" on the outside, and I point right to the rune.
And so wait, hang on. So Tobias is holding the rune while
yeah, I'm holding the
the mug.
The mug.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm going to pour some of the poison into the mug.
Nothing
Bottoms
happens.
up. Nothing happens.
Nothing happens. The poison. I mean, you pour it in, and it just sits in the bottom of the mug.
I'm closing the mug.
Okay.
Give it a little shake.
Shaken, not stirred.
Okay. You hear it sloshing around in there.
And I'm going to open the mug again. Something's changed?
Nope. Looks exactly like it did. Maybe a little bit more bubbly because you shook it, but...
Okay, I'm pouring the poison back to the bottle.
Well, that's going to need a good clean out now.
Come on, Mr. Prestidigitation. Clean it like that, right?
Spent a good 5 minutes with Prestidigitation to clean that thing as clean as it can get.
Okay, and I'm going to keep the vial of poison on myself.
Okay.
As Ulfgar reaches into his pack to to try and find space for his old helm, he actually realizes that he's got a small creature's chain shirt in there. And he goes, "Oh, hey, Gao, I've got something for you." And he pulls out this chain shirt that was from Goblin encampment way early on. And he says, "Here you go." And he tries like fitting it on Gao, if Gao will, let him. See if it'll actually fit him okay.
Yeah. He's a little confused at first, but then he ends up he does that thing, puts his arms up so you can put the chain shirt over it. It's kind of like the height looks like, well, it just looks like it's overall a bit big on him. But
we can do some alterations to it once we get back. But for now, this will help keep you protected in case that there's, any nasties about.
And the thing you notice as well is that when you put it on Gao, like he's like, oh, like suddenly it's like so much weight on him, he's kind of struggling with it a little bit.
He says, "Well, yeah, we'll definitely have to kind of remove a few links here and there, but I think that it'll be all right." And then he kind of lifts him back up and puts him on Aelia's back.
Okay. For which Gao is very very grateful, because at least then it takes some of the weight off this. He just looks like it's incredibly heavy on his shoulders.
Yeah.
So.
All right. And
Gao has a chain shirt.
Okay, let's go back to the forge if everyone got their things.
Go back to where? Oh, the forge.
The forge.
Aye. And he's putting the helmet on, and I'm assuming as it's magical, it like resizes to the user or something. Do our items and stuff do that?
Yeah. Does the usual magic item thing.
Yep. So I do that, and I've got the new battle axe, which Ulfgar then rereads the inscription on it and gives a really good chuckle at that point and says, "I never realized. Of course, Bob." And then he puts it on his back. And he says, "Right. So, are we having a rest before we take off? Or are we just... are we having a long rest before we take off? Or are we just managing with the short rest that we've had?"
The short rest should be fine.
Yeah.
All right.
You can rest much more when we will be in the forge.
All right. I'm going to roll some recovery hit dice because I took some damage. +3. Yeah, we rolled that. Jeez. I'm like, 15. Wait, what the? Oh, I didn't realize you could just click on hit dice. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yay, I've recovered all my HP but 1 using only 2 hit dice.
Nice.
Where am I on this map? There I am. Let's see.
Oh, well, that one, nice.
7. No, not 7. 36. Let's try that again.
And
+7. There we go. So I just need to do that again. And there we go. Yep. So I'm at maximum now.
Come
and I
on.
used 2. Oh, Arokh.
Oh no.
Well, if it helps any, here I'm actually going to be doing the thing that bards do, that they pull out. He pulls out the bone flute and plays that while we're kind of recovering, and people will gain an extra 1d6 in the amount of 5 extra hit points, up to their maximum.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. Almost full HP. Yeah.
Cool.
Neat.
Right. So, what way are we going? Because I think we know the way out, but I think we should be heading back to the forge via the way that we went before, just to make sure we've got those carts back and that there aren't any more nasties about in these mines here on the way.
Unless there's more of this carrion colors.
Well, that's the idea. Hopefully we'll be able to take care of anything that's stout there.
Okay, we shall see.
Right.
Yeah.
So, Kashcah, I realized just now, there you go. We've finished with our crap now. Have at it.
So, okay, so you take a short rest, then you're ready to head kind of back into the tunnel same way you came. Is that the general?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So yeah, you realize it's going to take you at least a full day to walk this because it is a lengthy tunnel and also uphill. So are you taking what's your plan? Just heading straight back there? Do you want to stop for a rest midway? Do you want to dump stuff in the carts and push those back? What are you?
I was thinking we'd carry as much as we could on the way back, and then once we get to the carts, we throw excess in there, and we kind of push the carts back with us. We could probably just like link them together and put them on a rope, I guess, and just like all of us pull it while we go. Then we're just kind of pulling the carts back with us, with the hopefully the help of Aelia, since she's probably best suited for pulling the carts like that. I don't mean any insult by it, but still.
I mean, I can help pull too. I'm probably about as strong as she is.
Yeah.
And Arokh probably should help us.
So I mean, you weren't far off from where you stopped the cart, so head back into the tunnel. Are you taking any light sources with you?
Yeah.
Okay. So does anybody?
Because only Ulfgar will be able to see in the dark.
Well, and Kellisto.
No.
So Kellisto could be at the back, I could be at the front, and then we've got light in the center if somebody's carrying that. We had torches before in the cart, and we brought that down, and then we had a glow nearby because of the magma here. But yeah.
Also, Aelia cannot see in the dark.
Right.
So.
Gao can.
Gao can. So you head into the tunnel with some torches lit, and a few hours later, you find yourself back at the carts that you left. You hear as you're walking, there are like little side tunnels occasionally, and you can hear kobold chatter echoing down the tunnels sometimes. So it's kind of in the distance and it echoes towards you down these tunnels. But otherwise it's the exact same kind of thing as you left, right? Tunnels are dark, damp. Water is occasionally dripping from the ceiling. They smell like, kind of moss and mold and all that stuff. And there's a single track leading to where you kind of dump the carts, or not dump the carts, but where you last left the carts. So, and they are still there. So you could you could definitely it's up to you how much stuff you want to to drop, right? I mean, I don't know like what you're carrying with you. That is anybody like over encumbered, carrying too much weight, or?
I'm probably on the edge of it. This is why I would have given the chain shirt off. I mean, I've got a helmet strapped to my backpack right now, 2 battle axes. I only need 1, and I feel a little bit unwieldy, but I think I'm probably at my limit at this point. And I'm wearing a shield, and I've got a rapier on. A quiver, a short bow. I feel like I'm just like this walking arsenal at this point.
Yeah.
I'm good. I think I'm with the Warhammer. I haven't factored that in, but I'm probably carrying about little over 90 pounds. I can carry 255 pounds. I can push, drag, lift, or pull 450 pounds, but my speed will drop if I do that.
Okay.
So I'm good.
Okay. So I mean, you realize looking at the mine carts that these things are made of heavy wood and iron. So the carts themselves are going to be quite heavy. So it's up to you, obviously, whether you want to put stuff in the cart and then, try and pull it, or if you want to just kind of try and manage through carrying what you've got. I will remind you as well that Aelia has 2 large rolls of dragon hide rolled up, and kind of attached to her packs.
Yeah, I can't help but feel that putting them in at least bringing back one of the carts with a bunch of stuff in it would be best.
And who has the horns as well? Somebody took the horns, right?
I did.
Okay. You so the inside of the horns is interesting because it's almost like bone with marrow in the center. So you think you could, I mean, this is just a side note, right? Nothing to do with weight. But you think that you could clean the marrow out of the horns, and then it could make perhaps it a little more useful in the future. So
You
anyway,
can drink out of them.
Can I? Hey, heck, can I consume the dragon bone marrow?
Very high protein. Tobias is like, I am proteining it. But okay, so you're going to take 1 cart then, or what's your decision there?
Yeah, 1 card should be enough. Because the one thing that we should be concerned about is the dragon hide.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so then let's use the
we are going to leave the gold for the kobolds. So, yeah.
I mean, and if they don't take all of it, then the dwarves eventually will work their way back down here to pick up anything left. But I think we just unload all of our excess stuff into the cart and then just use it to roll back up the hill.
Okay. Brakes are at the front. Well, actually, no. Brakes are at the back now. They're at the front on the way down, so they are now at the back. Okay, so you can take a little bit of time to fashion harnesses for yourselves, to make pulling this thing a bit easier. So you, could you describe how you would fashion such a harness?
Ulfgar could not. Perhaps someone else could, though. He's not very skilled in mechanical components.
Well, you're making it out of rope, right?
Right. Still, he's not good with knots either. I would imagine maybe Aelia might have some knowledge about this.
Yep. But Rorax is not here, So I'm not volunteering. Well, then Tobias, like, how do you harness? You mentioned Arokh might help pull the cart.
Yeah.
How are you harnessing Arokh to the cart? You've got like some rope.
Yeah, I got the rope.
Okay. So you're gonna basically kind of tie it around Arokh and then tie it to the cart.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Just take a little noose, put it around him.
So wow.
Let me know if this is too tight.
So Aelia will follow your lead, and she does the same thing. She ties it around some loops in her like bags that are on a harness around her anyway. So she loops the rope through there, and then kind of ties it off to one of the big handle on the cart. Valia, how about you? Are you doing the same?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Ulfgar would take a much simpler approach. He'd probably just once around his waist, and then he'd like wind his arm into the rope in front and do the same in the back, so he could quickly let go. He's not good with knots, and he'd be able to get out of it quickly. So, but this way he can at least help pull with the rope.
Okay. So then it's the four of you at the front, kind of 2 by 2 in front of the cart, and then Kellisto will kind of stand back near the brake handle just in case somebody needs to operate that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and Tobias, where do you want to stand at the front of the cart with those folks pulling it, or?
I'm going to be behind the cart.
Okay, so Kellisto and Tobias at the back of the cart, and everybody else at the front, I think, right?
Tobias, you could actually be the person carrying the light source, and we could rotate you out with Kellisto or something, so that it's not just not you or something.
Okay, good idea.
Okay, so okay. The Arokh and Ulfgar. And Gao is going to continue to ride Aelia. So okay. So wait, Tobias is at the very front, is that what's going on?
I thought he'd be like kind of in the middle-ish to give light to everybody. Ulfgar would be at the front with his vision. Kellisto would be at the back with hers.
Okay, gotcha. All right. Let me just adjust this a little bit then.
I think. I mean, if someone wants to correct that or suggest something else, please do.
Okay. So you begin hauling, unless anybody wants to change their order or anything like that.
Nope.
Okay. So you begin pulling this cart back up the hill. It's now laden with various stuff, mostly dragon hide, but so you begin pulling it back up the hill, and it is it's definitely kind of slower going than when you were just walking, right? But the four of you doing this, doesn't really have any particular problem pulling it. It's a good thing it's not laden with ore, because that would be very difficult. So you begin pulling it, and you kind of are hauling this cart for a good couple of hours. So at this point, you've probably traveled like 5 hours total up the tunnel. And could Ulfgar and Arokh make a perception check for me, please?
Okay.
There you go.
So you both see up ahead one of the and you passed like a few of these like side tunnels that kind of shoot off, you know, into little sub like areas of the mine, you know. And you both see in kind of the mouth of one of these little tunnels is a heap of maybe cloth. Ulfgar, you think you see a foot in amongst all the cloth. And I hear again the tunnels are kind of like so they're about 15 feet wide.
Mm-hmm.
They're quite tall actually. Probably because there were, you know, kind of big dinos pulling these carts at one point, so they're pretty tall. The sides and the roof of the tunnels are quite rough. And you see, like on the roof of the tunnels, you've noticed actually the whole time that you've been walking, there's you know, kind of a lot of stalactites, you know, kind of just you know, where the water has dripped over decades, right? It's formed these little mini stalactites, and water is just kind of dripping fairly from the roof of this tunnel. But this is what you see up ahead. You see what looks like a bundle of cloth, and Ulfgar, you think you see a foot in the bundle.
Ulfgar would stop and hold a hand up behind him, and then he'd like keep a grip on the rope and approach the next person in line behind him, and more or less say, "I see someone up ahead. Might want to start bracing the cart and have everyone detach themselves from the rope. I'm going to go inspect." And then I would like to stealth forward to it and see if I could find out more details. Is this foot attached to a dwarf that is dead or alive? Is it a disembodied foot?
So make a stealth check for me, please.
Okie doke. Let's bring that down here.
Okay.
There you go. Not too bad.
Yep. Okay, so here, let me move you over to this battle mat. Whoop.
Yeah.
So
I didn't kill everything in here while I was gone.
We kind of roller coastered quite fast down through most of it.
Fine. So Ulfgar, you're stealthing kind of up ahead to this. Okay.
Yeah.
Is that a dead kobold?
Yep, you get up there, and Ulfgar, you see this is a dead kobold.
Okay. And do I recognize what might have killed it? And do I see anything nearby that might be ready to kill me?
So let me think, would that be oh, sorry, I just noticed new feature added to Roll. Okay, that's cool. So you see price. Boop, our friend the carrion crawler. And yes, I got the token for it finally.
Nice.
So I don't know if you guys need a reminder.
Thing looks really gross. I do, because I think you have counted them when I wasn't.
Oh no.
Oh, gross.
No. I stealth back. Did I see just the one in my initial glance?
Looking. So you've looked down the tunnel. Yes, that you only see the one.
Excuse me. I stealth back and I immediately tell the others the danger ahead.
Okay.
And once the cart's secured and everything, that we should proceed with caution and try and surprise it.
Yeah, and as Gao kind of sees this, he mutters, stupid, you know. He's muttering about how stupid this kobold is by going off by itself, basically, and has no sympathy for this kobold, basically. And as you're saying this, you see, and you can't see this carrion crawler, he's around the corner now, but you do see kind of a tentacle reach out and wrap around this kobold body and drag it, kind of further down the tunnel. So
should have just poured some poison on it.
And you hear this kind of sickening, crunching, squelching noise as the dead kobold begins to be devoured.
Okay. Ulfgar's going to suggest that perhaps Aelia and Gao stay there with the cart.
Do we hear this, or are we still too far back?
Ulfgar
I know I
came
won't
back to
see.
you guys.
Okay, I didn't know if we would hear it crunching, but I know we won't see it for sure. But
I think you can, yeah, because what you hear in the tunnel is and there's not a lot of noise, right? Actually, the thing
I would assume it would echo a little bit because
yeah, for sure.
Mine shaft. Okay, I'm just like I whisper, I'm like, what is that?
Carrion crawler.
Well, I just drop the rope and pull out my warhammer. I'm like, well, okay, let's go.
Let's give it a try. Ulfgar pulls out Bob.
Okay. All right.
I'm just like, put my hand on Ulfgar's shoulder. I'm like, you have to lead. I can't see anything.
He says, Kellisto, bring that torch with you. Stay to the back. So that you guys can have some light, perhaps.
Okay, so Kellisto secures the brake on the cart.
Right, I mean that
little latch around. She puts a little latch around the handle so the brakes are on.
Yeah.
And brings a torch. And you wanted to... Oh, I just moved the cart back. So...
Oh no, Valia just got run over.
No. Oh, stop it. Okay, there we go. So you wanted to bring the torch like how far forward?
I think that's good for starters.
Okay.
Just to get us up to the corner.
Okay.
And then Aelia and Gao would stay with the cart to make sure it doesn't go anywhere. And be our backup. So, Ulfgar would stealth back up.
And remember, we had only short rest, so our spells are low.
What are you talking about? You've got magic wands. You're good. Ulfgar would stealth back up front again like that. Try and peer around the corner.
Yep. You see this carrion crawler has kind of its tentacles around this kobold body and is just chomping away on it. With its great maw, is just munching this kobold.
Okay. And Ulfgar would turn back and he'd go like this.
Hang on, I can't see what you do.
And then he'd go like this and mean for everybody to charge in at the same time. And then, charge up to the thing and try and give it a chop with a good old bob.
Okay, Aelia's going to move up a little bit. She unties herself from the cart, spends an action kind of doing that, and then moves up a little bit. So she definitely doesn't get there in time to see you doing the countdown, shall we say.
I thought she was staying with the cart. Aelia and Gao.
She's okay, yeah. I mean, she's going to move up a little bit.
Okay. All
Okay, so then I'm gonna say anybody who charges in can participate in kind of a surprise round, and then after that we'll do turn order.
Go on, charge. Let's do it.
I just run in. Oh, you're still disgusting.
Yeah, it doesn't smell great either. It smells kind of like dead things.
I'll move over. I'll come around right here close to this side so we can one on each side.
Charge. Surround it. You coming in, Tobias?
Yeah, sure, why not?
You know you want to stab that thing with your sword.
Your sword's like, yes, let's stab it. Stab all the things.
Sword's like, I prefer to stab something a little less disgusting, but this will do.
So picky.
We could stab the dwarf.
Oh God, get out of here.
Okay,
Alright.
so we
Yeah.
are attacking, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Ask and you shall receive.
Oh,
Oh,
a nat
gee.
20. Oh.
That's gonna hurt.
That's no
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah, I haven't seen that in a while.
That was good. That was very good.
So yeah, you come running around the corner and just wing right into a very surprised carrion crawler. It's like, I was just eating my lunch. What the hell, man?
We don't want to be your lunch.
If carrion crawlers could talk. Right.
I guess I could go.
Yeah.
It's just a regular attack. I'm not doing the berserker.
Yeah, that will hit.
Jeez.
Okay.
Obviously, Ulfgar is like, running up. He's like, charge! And both of you just like run up faster than him up to the carrion crawler, and he's like,
Ulfgar's slightly shorter legs,
Yes.
unfortunately.
he's all like, leave some for me!
Swing with Bob.
All right, here we go. Bob, one-handed. Let's see how we do with Bob. Hey, not bad. 17.
That hits.
Okay. 6 slashing. And he gets 2 attacks, being a Valor Bard. Hoi. Second swing. Hey! Bob's in agreement today. And then he does,
Oops, sorry about that. Ignore that.
that's right. Then damage from the second one. There you go.
Okay. All right. The carrion crawler looks quite hurt, emotionally and physically.
Watch out! He's gonna spew his lunch.
If only vomit was an action. All right, let's do some initiatives. So we can. Ooh, I need to click on the carrion crawler. Yep. Okay. Oh, you know what helps if I open turn order? That helps.
Oh, let's try it again.
Sorry.
That's right. I don't think I selected my character. Yeah, that's more appropriate.
Oh, the carrion crawler doesn't have a name. See, I had to make the token. I forgot to give it a name.
CC.
Then I'm gonna add in Aelia. Where is her? There. Her token and initiative. And then Kellisto. Where's Kellisto? Alright, Kellisto, there you are. Okay. Move those out of the way. Alright, have we got everybody then? Is anybody missing? Gao's just gonna go on Aelia's turn. So I think I just need to give this dude a name. Okay, so hey. So Kellisto goes first. And she's kind of gonna hang back for now. Actually, gonna wait and see. Sounds like you guys have this taken care of.
Well, it would help if she brought the light source forward a bit.
Okay, she can do that. She brings the light source forward.
Okay.
To there.
Okay.
Stands on the tracks, kind of. You guys got it?
Takes a defensive action.
Sure. The carrion crawler, what's he gonna do? He's going to make 2 attacks, one with the tentacles and one with its bite.
It's like, y'all hit me so freaking hard.
Spit it out. Drop it.
So it makes attacks with tentacles actually let's roll a little D. He's not particularly smart, so 1d3, and we'll say we'll go from top to bottom in your, or north to south.
Come on, 1. Come on, 1.
1. Bias is 2 and Valia is 3.
Well, fair enough. I have the most HP.
You have the best chance of beating that DC as well.
Actually, I think I do. I have resistance to poison.
Oh, cons. Nope, not this time.
Oh.
Okay.
You just don't like these guys, that's for certain.
So then you feel so it lashes out with its tentacles and it wraps around your wrist, and you can feel it's like stingers in its tentacles, and spreading up your arm quite rapidly is this feeling of paralysis, and within seconds your whole body is kind of is like you cannot move. You're just completely paralyzed.
And I take the 3 points, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Boo!
And then it's going to bite. Who does it bite? It bites Ulfgar. Does 17 hit you, Ulfgar?
No. My armor class is currently 20.
Okay. Then it bites and its teeth kind of crack against you. Do you have a shield still? Or?
I do, in fact, with some with a cape currently lightly tacked to it.
So it gets a mouthful of cape, basically. So Carrion Crawler bites out at you and just gets a mouthful of cape. You're able to kind of bat its mouth away with your shield.
Good. That's a really gross filled
you're
mouth
not gonna want that cape back again.
Kobold bits.
Yeah. Yeah, and the kind of half-eaten kobold just kind of drops to the floor. There's like a leg and an arm and half of its head, and yeah. And so Arokh, it is your turn.
Breath weapon on all of us.
Arokh's turn. He's going to. How far is this? 20. You should be able to get to the carrion crawler. Okay, let's go. Arokh's going to charge forward.
Charge. Okay.
And he's going to bite. Oh,
Tastes
not today.
bad.
Yeah, maybe there's like a moment of hesitation in Arokh where he's like, "Do I really want to bite this thing?" it's just enough for him to...
Not really. And then he's going for a claw.
Okay.
Also nope.
Yeah, this thing's pretty gross.
He tripped. It's dark in there.
There was a dead kobold in between you two.
Yeah, true.
Okay, so Aelia is going to move up, just to keep an eye on you lot. So she's just kind of standing, making sure that you seem to be faring okay. So Valia, you
Okay.
can make the con saving throw. Basically, it's at the end of your turn. So if you succeed, you'll be able to act next round.
Nice.
Yay.
Okay, very good. So then Ulfgar.
Ulfgar uses Bob. Uses his Bob action.
Okay.
And he does with Bob. Wow, 9 points of damage. Bob's agreeing with him today. He's getting some really good rolls. Don't know if 16 hits.
16. Does 16 hit? Yes, it does.
Okay. And what happened to the damage? There it goes. Okay.
Okay.
There you go. Excuse me. And
Okay.
Ulfgar sees what is it? Valia struggling with some of the poison, so he grabs the horn on his neck and oops, there it is. Gives her inspiration just for good measure.
Okay. Very good.
And that's it.
Tobias. This thing is like it's pretty badly injured at this point.
Then I'm going to end this misery.
Finish it.
And Chatter going to get his kill eventually.
That hits.
Ooh, that's...
Yep. It does. It seems very satisfied with this. Your sword says yes. And the carrion crawler lets out a scream of pain. But is still clinging to life.
Still not dead yet.
Still not dead
yet. Did I get out some bonus action?
Dagger.
You could use the dagger. If you want to piss your sword off.
I'm sorry about it. It doesn't hit anyway. Yeah.
Yes, your sword proclaims that it's because you should never use it again. Yeah. Okay. So Kellisto is still kind of hanging back. The carrion crawler now is going to it's fairly upset by being targeted by your sword, so it's going to slash out at you, Tobias, with its tentacles.
Okay.
I don't know if that hits.
Yeah, that hits.
Oh, I thought your armor class was 15. Dang it.
Constitution saving throw, right?
Yes, please.
Dang it. I inspired the wrong person.
Nope.
Oh.
The same thing happened.
I have a very high constitution. Why is that? What is this?
The poison courses through your body and your whole body just seizes up and you cannot move. And is going to take advantage of this and bite you while while you are paralyzed. So
Yeah, that will hit anyway. So
takes some piercing damage as well. Okay. Arokh.
moving on. And Arokh isn't very happy about this. And he'll be going for a tail slap.
That hit. Oh yeah, tail slap. Okay. It is not dead yet. But it is severely injured at this point.
Cloud a bonus action.
Okay.
Let's see.
Yeah, that hits.
Excuse me.
And it's supposed to be done, I think.
It still has a little life in it left.
Oh gosh, those are some good hits though. That was some good, those were good hits.
Definitely. Okay. You'll hear from behind you. Aelia lets out a gasp. She kind of cries out, like, "Ugh!"
Like gross, or like I've been stabbed.
Kind of like that's disgusting.
Okay.
Kind of,
Okay.
but in a much more surprised way.
Okay.
And do you turn and look, or
Sure.
you see her looking up at the ceiling, and she has drips of blood on her face.
Wait, I
Right.
looked up at the ceiling and
Fairly
there's drips of blood on
significant.
her face?
What's that?
I
Sorry?
looked up at the ceiling and I see...
No, you see her. She is looking up at the ceiling like this. She's looking up at the ceiling of the tunnel, and she has these great drips of blood on her face, like kind of almost. Well, it looks like blood.
I follow her gaze.
And you see, definitely not hiding anymore.
No! It's on the frickin' ceiling? Oh god!
And at that moment being seen, it drops what it was eating. So again, chunks of kobold fall from the ceiling to the floor, and it reaches down, not too close, but close enough where it can lash at Aelia with its tentacles. And let's see, his armor class, that hit. So now Aelia needs to make a con saving throw. And she fails, so this gasp that she lets out is stifled in her throat as she becomes paralyzed.
Oh dear god.
And the carrion crawler reaches down at that point and gives a bite.
They're everywhere, man. It's another freaking bug hunt.
It gets surprised by Gal, though, and misses. So, okay. Valia.
This one's looking pretty hurt, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna go ahead and go to this one, and I'm gonna rage as my bonus while I'm on the way, and I'm going to.
Do you have a reach weapon?
My javelin. Oh, he's still up on the ceiling, isn't he?
Yeah.
I think you'd provoke an attack of opportunity if you left as well.
Yeah, I just realized where I was. Yeah, I'll just try to finish him off, attack him with the Warhammer again. I'm gonna rage as my bonus.
Okay.
Can I use my inspiration on that?
Yeah, certainly.
Oh god. Well, and my unarmed attack.
Yep. Oh, there we go. Fighting it.
You also could have used your luck, right?
Oh yeah, I could have used my luck too, but I think I was just like, I can't believe I swung and missed him. But at least the bite hit.
The bite did hit.
How's it taste?
Probably pretty gross.
He tastes very dead because you kill him. So...
Very dead and acidy. Okay, and now I have my movement, so I'll move over here and wait for that guy.
Slimy yet satisfying.
I'm all spitting as I'm going, but it's like just, you know, if you've ever seen a dog get a hold of a frog and they're just like foaming.
I can't say I have, but I can still picture you foaming nonetheless.
Just like foaming and saliva rolling out of my mouth, like ah.
Yep. It's like wiping off your tongue.
Got a little bit of soap in your mouth.
Press the digitization.
Clean my mouth.
I could do it as a bonus action.
You just brush my teeth, please.
Jeez,
that's all I got. A bonus attack. Yeah, that's all.
Okay. All right, Ulfgar.
Okay.
So with the great like thump, this carrion crawler after taking a last bite from Valia slumps to the floor dead.
Right. He turns around and instead of just his head, he turns his whole body around and takes a step or two towards the other one, realizing that it's probably out of his reach. But is it within 15 feet of him?
How tall are you?
He's close to 5 foot tall. He's actually pretty tall for a dwarf.
I don't think. Well, no, actually, yes, it is. Just within.
Because if he thinks he could reach it, he would try and shout it down.
Actually, I'm trying to think. Wait, hang on. 15 feet, and you're 5 feet. So is it? I would say because it's a large creature that some of it is within 15 feet of you. Some of it is outside of that. But...
That's all right. He just wants to try and hit it and maybe knock it back against the wall and make it fall or something.
Okay.
So he's going to... let's see. I don't even know how many spells I have left. Let me look. Oh, yeah. So he's going to do a full-on Fus Roda. At level 3. Ignore the to hit. Let's do... Oops. Level 3. Fus Roda. And he does 12 points of thunder damage. Plus 10 points of thunder damage. So, wow. 2D. Those are really good rolls. That's 22 points of thunder.
Does not make his con save, so he is pushed. So you're standing kind of well, you'd have to stand underneath him,
okay,
in order to be able to reach him.
How's that?
Yeah, so I'm trying to think. So if you're, then it's gonna kind of push him like this way.
Okay.
I don't think he moves the full 10 feet because you're pushing him against the ceiling that he's already up against to some extent. So
right,
he moves kind of a bit away, but
he's just hoping that it would knock him free and have him drop. Either way, he's hoping to hit it at least.
But it doesn't. Does it knock people prone or no?
No, it just pushes.
Okay, all right. Yeah, he doesn't have to make an ability check because he is a carrion crawler. So
Okie doke.
He does hang on to the ceiling quite adeptly.
He would he would swear loudly, but I think he just did. So there you go.
Fair enough. All right. Tobias, you want to have another go at that con saving throw?
Yes, please.
You can do it.
Oh, you can.
Yes, you can.
I
got it.
No.
Don't listen to the DM. You can do this.
I think all my good rolls went into the first attack.
Oh.
on that crit.
That was a really good attack, though.
Kellisto. She's gonna hang back, see how you do. Carrying Crawler is going to. He has a reach weapon with his tentacles.
Oh.
So he kind of like takes a step this way. And then you see his tentacles kind of rapidly like swing and lash at Ulfgar.
Bring your ugly face to my axe. that would hit. And I have to make a con save, yeah?
Yeah.
Alright, I get advantage due to my poison resistance. And it's a good thing, too.
But the carrying crawler is not going to take his second attack to bite at you because he doesn't want to deal with that shit.
Especially since he just saw his buddy go down, probably, too. Darn bugs getting smarter every day. Oi, what? Why is everything muted? Sorry. Oh crap, I used the minus to take my hit points away. I'm sorry. I'm like, why is everybody so quiet all of a sudden? This stream got really quiet.
We're like, how do we tell them?
You should probably make use of this stream deck that you have.
I do. I in fact need to set that up. That would be a smart thing. And you know me, I don't do those kinds of things.
Alright, wait, hang on. So you made your con save. Carrying Crawl is not going to bite you.
Yeah.
Okay. So he's just kind of like clinging. He's hanging on to the ceiling as he does, being a giant. Alright, Arokh.
Arokh is going to launch an attack for this one, and he's going for Tail Slap again.
Does Tail Slap have reach? Because this guy is up on the ceiling.
Arokh can fly.
Yeah, Arokh can fly.
Okay, alright, fair enough.
He's considered large creature.
But actually 12 does not hit.
Oh.
And he's going to claw him.
Hey.
Oh, that hits. Okay. 6 points of damage to this. Okay, very good. And let's see, there's Aelia, she has a spear. Is that considered a reach, right?
It is.
I still don't know that she can get to it. She's gonna try and spear this guy. Here we go. Spear. And she missed. So that's good. Oh, you know what? Nope, she doesn't do that because she's currently paralyzed. Oh. So she's gonna try making the con save again. Oh, and she succeeds. Okay. So she still doesn't
fine.
Get to do that. Valia. That's what happens when I try to keep
Okay.
track.
How high up is he?
So he is from the ground to where, well, it's probably about like 30 feet from the floor to the height of the cave, and he is a large creature, so he's taking up
See, I'm 6 foot tall. Should I? If I don't have a reach weapon, I still can't reach.
I tend to agree.
She was saying that
Okay,
it was
so-
difficult for me to reach him with a 15-foot sound
Spell
attack.
radius.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, well, I have my javelin, so I guess that's what I'm gonna stab him. Stab him a lot.
Okay.
I am raging, so
That hits.
okay, that's the first one.
Nice.
That's the second.
That also hits. Very nice. So he's now got
An
two
unarmed
javelins
attack.
stuck into him. So how are you reaching him with the unarmed attack?
Oh, I forgot about that. Ignore the unarmed. I can't really. Sorry, I forgot he's up on the.
Jump.
Yeah, I'm just gonna jump and snap at him. See if I can get a tentacle or something.
He's got these two javelins now sticking out of his big, stinky body.
And that's all my.
Okay. Ulfgar.
Excuse me. I'll do the same. I will try and shout at it again. Move over. Yeah, that's all I've got right now.
Fusro, get up the ceiling!
Yeah, no kidding. Where is it? It's not a healing word. There it is. Goose. Rhoda. And it is level 3. Submit. Does 18 points of force damage. DC 15 push. Ah, he's pushed. Like push.
So you take half.
Wait.
half
Oh,
of the
right. He
chunk.
made it. Yeah, sorry.
Okay, so he takes 9.
Yeah.
Okie dokie. He's still looking hurt.
Was anybody still paralyzed? Tobias is, aren't you? Yeah. And with the last of his...
Wait, I can't do that.
Ulfgar just makes extra sure and go, dude, and gives you his last bit of inspiration.
Inspirational dude.
Indeed. Oh, I forgot. We did a short rest, didn't we?
Oh, come on.
Oh no!
So if I would have regained all of my inspiration, so I still have 2 left.
How much DC I will have to get?
13.
13. And from inspiration I got 1d4.
I think it's a D8, isn't it?
It is a D8.
Are you feeling?
No, I'm not feeling like
You're like, the dice have not been with me today.
Yeah, the dice are against me today. They gave me all the 20s that they had.
What's happened is that the other carrion crawler fell on you, and we all didn't notice. And you're just like, oh, get it off!
Fair enough.
Alright. You're gonna hang on to your inspiration then for another time?
Yes, please.
Callisto's like, you guys have got this. And she kind of
Flame blade, woman.
Ulfgar shouts to her, come whip that thing off the ceiling, we'll grab on with you. I don't know if she could even reach it.
Let's have a look. Thorn whip.
Hang on.
Ooh,
Can druids tame the wild creatures?
I don't know. I don't think that this is a regular beast. I think this is a monstrosity.
let's see. It is a monstrosity.
Yeah.
But she can thorn whip it. She's like, fine. So she comes over here, stands next to Aelia, and thorn whips. She has a 30-foot range on her thorn whip, so
Yay! Someone with a ranged attack.
I do have ranged attack, but I'm unable to do anything.
I tried.
Once he gets on the ground, your melee will have bonus because I'm raging.
If the attack hits and the creature is large or small, how big is this thing? This thing is large, so pull it 10 feet closer to you. So, so yeah, she whips it good. Boop. The whip wraps around its big worm as much as it can, and she just seems to just have the right angle for leverage to pry it kind of from the ceiling, and it lets out a little yelp as it gets a little bit of damage and then falls to the floor.
Oh no.
Ulfgar,
Oh,
could you make
no.
a dexterity saving throw, please?
No. Ulfgar says, good job. Oh, jeez. And he dives and tumbles to the side.
Yeah. So you can move out of the way just
there we
in
go.
time. Glump to hit the floor.
I'll say he actually dove, so he'd be like prone as well. Is what I would say on that one.
Okay.
Let's move this off to the side.
All right.
Prone.
Callisto's like, I don't know what you guys are messing around at.
There we
Carrion crawler. I don't know. Can worms be prone? Can something like that be not prone? Hey, stop shouting. You know what? He's still gonna from his prone position. Let's say he is prone. He's off his little legs.
So he's on his back then, right?
He is gonna try and do some more. Oh, he just hits Kellisto. He's like, 2 can play at this game, and she fails her con save.
Doggone it! What is with you guys and your con saves? Oh.
Listen, mister. You guys, I think you need to include yourself in that bunch.
Hey, I made it.
I got con +7 and I'm not able to make this.
I'm all about smashy, not get paralyzed and scared.
Hey, if it was scared, I'd be able to fix that too, but I can only dish out so many helpful D8s.
Let's see, is he going to bite somebody as well? I think he's going to take advantage of Ulfgar being prone.
Fudge. Here I go.
Try and bite you. The chomp.
So that actually misses.
Being prone even?
Prone, I believe, gives him advantage to hit me. But due to my armor and shield, I'm still good.
Okay.
I mean, I will look up prone just to make sure. I think that's what it is. Good, bad, prone. No, I don't want to interact with all that stuff. We want condition. Prone creature's only movement option is to crawl unless it stands up and thereby ends the condition. The creature has disadvantage on attack rolls. Attack roll against the creature has advantage if the attacker is within 5 feet of the creature. Otherwise, the attack roll has disadvantage.
Okay. Alright, fair enough. So it misses then. You're able to kind of, even from your prone position, able to kind of bat away the attack with your shield.
Okay.
Okay, and I think that's it for its turn. Arokh.
Arokh is going to bite him.
That hits.
That hits. Followed by claw. That
does not
misses.
hit.
He's still on this inning.
Nope, he is now on the ground.
Okay.
Looking severely injured.
It's the way I like it.
Aelia is going to try and stab it with her spear. And misses. Some weird reason. Valia.
I'm like, finally! So I'm gonna hit it with my Warhammer.
That hits. Oof. And you finish it.
Yay!
Yay! I'm just like, ugh! Any more of these things? These things are gross. Like, I suggest we get the heck out of here before more come back.
Ulfgar crawls over to Tobias. Are you alright? You don't look so good. You look a little green.
Mm.
I forget.
You have no idea how he is struggling.
I'm gonna start pulling this one off the track so we can continue on once we deal with Tobias over there.
So it doesn't take too long. About a minute, and the paralyzation, is that a word?
Yes.
Wears off. So the poison kind of subsides, and you feel movement return to your limbs. And Kellisto, the same is true for Kellisto as well. She kind of is able to move again, and looks a bit disgruntled at being pulled into the fight only to get paralyzed from it.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, she had the key. She was very key with getting that darn thing off the ceiling. I was just pushing it back onto the ceiling. I try to recover the dragon scale coat and clean it off from the first one.
Oh, I see what you mean. The cloak who.
Yeah, and I'd put that in my pack for now, thinking I need to get this permanently attached, or it's just going to come off.
Tobias have finally an opportunity to experience how strong the poison is. He gets an idea, and he's going to take one of the fangs from the crawler.
Mm-hmm. Make a. Hang on, let me look. See if there's an appropriate. Make a straight dexterity roll. It's a fairly low DC, but just to make sure you handle this without taking another dose of poison. Super embarrassing.
What are you doing?
He's trying to poison you, and he succeeded.
I'm taking the poison fangs from.
Oh, good luck with that.
Trying to harvest.
Yeah.
Harvest, carrying crawl of poison. Oh yeah, you're able to. Fine. So yeah.
I was just pulling the other one off the track so we can continue on.
Ulfgar would like to take a look down this way a bit, if possible. Just to see if it like dead ends into like a carrion crawler nest, if there's like a ton more or whatever.
Yeah, so
I'm just like, why are y'all playing with it? It's dead.
You move about 100 feet down that tunnel, and it splits.
He'd come back and say, "There's a little bit of a split in the tunnel down here. I think we should have one more quick look, see if we can find out if there's any more of these things to go."
I just sit down. I'm like, if I hear you screaming like a girl, we know there's one down there.
We probably should get moving. We have enough stuff.
Well, I'm not worried about the stuff. I'm more worried about these things coming back up the tunnel, trying to get some dwarf food.
It's okay. They're just dwarfs. Let's go.
I'm sure the dwarves will be able to handle them.
This was the point of us coming down here. Come on, then.
I'm like, aren't y'all like supposed to be tough and stuff? Like, aren't y'all resistant to things like poisons? You know. I mean, these guys have lived here for ages. Wouldn't they be resistant to that?
Aye, but we're trying to thin the numbers so that they have a fighting chance.
We have a disease to cure.
Right.
Or curse.
And he says, right now, it's called carrion crawlers. I don't like those in my basement, and I'm sure you wouldn't either.
I don't have a basement. I live in a swamp.
Right. But if you had a basement in your swamp...
I'm just like a 5-year-old. Everything you have, I just have some random crazy answer.
And he just
makes any excuse to not go down there.
He's like, I know you don't like the smell of it. Come on, then.
Yeah, but you didn't taste it. Did you see what it did to me? Can you clean my mouth, by the way?
Oh, I'll do it, but stop biting the darn things. They're gross. You're going to get an infection.
I just stick out my tongue and it like foamy grossness on.
Prestidigitation, the Lizardfolk tongue. Bleh. I hate doing this. Come on, then. Stop biting the darn things and stab them instead. Better yet, use that hammer of yours.
Alligators are angry because they don't have a toothbrush.
That's what you should call your warhammer.
A toothbrush named Ulfgar.
That's actually what I am. I'm not a Valor bard. I'm a toothbrush. Ulfgar says, Kellisto, bring that light down in here. Let's go. And he starts walking down this way. Says, I know these things are stinky, but they stink a lot less after they're dead.
I just roll my eyes. I'm just dead.
Aelia says, Ulfgar, unless you're going to explore every single one of these tunnels, there's no point in exploring this one further.
I point, I'm like,
He says, I just wanted to have a quick peek down either one to make sure that there isn't just a big nest of them right there.
She says, again, I think it's a pointless endeavor.
Fine, fine. Who's got the ability to collapse this area? He looks over at Tobias. Might you be able to move enough of this dirt and stuff from the ceiling that it can collapse this tunnel?
Nope.
Yeah, it's stone. I mean, it's not a dirt
stone.
Seal.
Maybe in the future.
Alright, I'm just like, move out of the way, and I'm just gonna grab this one, and I'm just gonna like lay it next to this one, so it's kind of blocking.
A giant stack of.
Yeah, I'm like, is this good enough?
Ulfgar says, I've got an idea. Can you stack that one on the other one? Climb up there and give a good whack on the ceiling.
I just look at you and leave it and walk away.
He's like, what? I didn't know. I thought it'd be worth a try. You just hit the ceiling and it, oh yeah, it caves in on you. That'd be bad. Right. Okay.
It's like he might accidentally roll down your way if you're not careful. I just giggle and walk off. I'm just going back to the cart. In the dark, I don't even know where I'm going. I'm just like walking along the track.
Oh, Kellisto's coming with you, so she's gonna come and she's just rolling her eyes at you, and is coming back to the cart to release the brake, and Aelia's gonna get all harnessed up again, and
same positions as before. Continue on.
Got a stack of dead dudes over there.
Anybody need to rest before we go?
And risk that more of them come?
Yeah, this isn't a good place to rest. I agree with Tobias, and he was frozen for a little bit. I know how that feels, man. I was just like, I feel you, man. Let's go.
Feels bad, man.
It feels bad, man.
Indeed.
They don't taste good anyway, in case y'all want to lick that one over there to see what I tasted.
Might be hallucinogenic, you never know. Have you tried licking a carrion?
I can see y'all.
Look at the color.
No,
I can see in the dark.
I remember some poisonous frogs that thought that they would be smart about it too.
Right. So, So yeah, Aelia gets reconnected to the cart. Anybody else doing the same?
Yep, same position as before.
Okie doke.
Sorry.
All right. So far you've been traveling for about 5 hours. Prior to your carrion crawler encounter. It is the weird part is that you really don't know what time of day it is at the moment. You've been underground for quite a while now, and you really can't say whether it's day or night. So you can kind of take a guess at how much time. This is fairly tiring work, dragging this cart. How much longer are you going to drag it for? Are you just going to try and drag it like until you get there, or are you going to take a break at any?
I was kind of
at
figuring
any point.
maybe a few more hours, and then we'd maybe set camp for the night. Because I don't know that we're going to get this back in one day. And we were going at a really good clip down here, and it took us a couple hours.
Yeah, we should probably get some rest in between.
Maybe we go a little further up the track, though, because the air, I feel, is a bit fresher that way.
I'm just like, I'm following, I can't see.
Kellisto's got a light source.
I'm just like, let's go. I'm just starting to move. Like, let's get, the sooner we get out of here, the better we're gonna be.
Yeah, little doggies, let's go.
Okay. So you continue to travel. Again, the tunnel is just kind of as it was before. It is a little bit freaky because you keep feeling these drops of cold water from the ceiling, and it's a little bit
yeah.
carrion crawler up there, and so you travel for what feels like maybe a couple more hours. And you pass by some side tunnels again. Where you were previously kind of occasionally hearing chatter from kobolds echoing down these tunnels, that seems to have died off, and now it's kind of eerily quiet. So you travel for a couple more hours like this, and you think that, or a few more hours like this, and you feel like at this point you probably traveled 8 hours.
That's a lot.
Well,
I'm like, pulling this cart.
I'm bushed. Let's set up camp.
Don't forget your hut.
Oh no, I won't.
So how are you setting up the hut?
Basically, right next to the cart on the tracks, we just kind of set up camp in the middle of the cave, or in the middle of the track tunnel, I guess. We brace it for the night, even if it's not night. And as usual, Arokh kind of stands guard, I guess, because he doesn't fit in it.
Correct.
But this time, Ulfgar goes up to Gao and said, I saw you help out Aelia there, and I appreciate it. You know, while once the hut's set up and stuff, and he'd pull out a couple of the ball bearings in his pocket, and he'd say, here. And he also grabs the sling out of his pocket as well. Gives them both to him and says, so these here, they're not just shiny rocks. They're ammunition for this sling. And basically, they're actually enchanted and magical. What that means is, they hurt more when you use them to hit something. And he puts them in, puts all that in Gao's little hands and says, thank you.
when you say they hurt more, you see Gao's eyes widen a little bit and then get a little extra glint in them, like, oh yeah, hurt things more, you know.
And Tobias, during this rest, he is going to take a deeper look on the chatter.
Okay.
Just to meditate on a little bit, just to gain a little bit more information about it.
Are you going to talk to it, or?
I'm just kind of yeah. I'm going to talk to it.
Okay. So first, let's finish up with Gao really quick. So Gao takes the bullets, but he shows you that he's got his own sling.
Okay.
So he declines the sling, basically saying, I use this one, he says,
Okay.
and he kind of tests one of the bullets out and draws it, and is like, yes, and puts the magic bullets that you've given to him in the same pouch as his little bag of pebbles that he's got for his current sling. So,
Okay.
how many did you give him?
I think I had 2.
2? Okay. Just, 2.
Doggone it. I know I had them, but I don't have it on my backpack list.
Okay. I just want to make a note so I don't forget.
So I think that's all there was just the 2.
Okay. Alright, so that's kind of Gao and his magic bullets dealt with. So while Tobias is kind of meditating on the sword, the sword says to you, an inquisitive mind. What is it you're looking for, human?
Tell me about your origins.
He says, oh, story time. And the sword will share somewhat with you. Uh-oh, where did I put this?
Oh no.
I
She lost
know.
the
I
sword.
had it ready the other week, but
The sword's backstory. No.
So he says that he was created by another magic user, not too different than yourself, he says. But he had no control over the process. And I consumed him.
He consumed him?
To this Tobias' sword's backstory here. Sword's origin.
Been nice knowing you, Tobias.
He says, he and I are one now. He says, I would have him return to his human form.
And what do I have to do with this?
He says,
Are we resting right now?
yeah,
Yes.
I think Ulfgar's got the hut up and you're in the middle of...
Yeah.
Sorry, my cats decided to go crazy in the kitchen and knock everything.
He says, you might be able to help. We'll see. He says, the first step would be getting rid of that dagger.
Hey, I'm the one who dictates the conditions.
He says, For now.
For now. Remember, you can end in the lava. Remember that.
And there is silence.
You figured
No
out how to
response.
mute chatter.
How to shut him. Threaten him with melting. Oh no!
Tell me more about this this magic user who you have consumed.
He says, no. He says,
I insist.
the sword says, I know.
That's very vague.
He says, you may think you're in control of this relationship, but it's a two consciousness effort. It's a two-way street. Says, I have something you want.
That's what you are thinking. Meanwhile, I'm just assigning Arokh to come over, and I'm going to introduce the chatter to the Arokh.
He says, your pet. I have no interest in meeting your pet.
I'm not a mere pet, you dirty toothpick.
Says, oh, it's literate. Droll. How amusing.
How rude.
I knew there is something wrong with this sword. Why wouldn't you tell me earlier about Tobias? And Tobias is going to explain very poorly why he didn't do anything at this point. We didn't have much time to explain it. Just basically, Arokh is going to do some insight for the intentions of the sword.
Okay.
Which I see he's very sure that nothing good came out of this.
Yeah, so Arokh thinks that the sword is interested in killing. But aside from that, Arokh doesn't really discover any further insight on what the sword's motivations are.
Mm-hmm.
You just get, with the 7, you just get a very basic feeling that it likes killing.
Okay, I think that's enough for now.
Okay. All right.
And when I'm stopped with fiddling with the sword, so I'm going to share my thoughts and concerns with rest of the group about the sword.
Oh
my!
So how exactly would you be presenting it to the rest of the group? Because I know what I've been hearing you guys say.
Yeah, the sword that I get from the forge was very very interesting, very peculiar, and he got mind of his own, and basically he's trying to revive his previous owner, sort of.
When you say he, who are you talking about?
This butter knife right here.
Wait, the sword has been talking to you.
Yeah, pretty much.
I didn't know they did that.
The sword says,
Neither.
the sword is kind of laughing, like, quietly in your mind, Tobias.
Ulfgar pulls out Bob, and he starts looking at it. Bob.
Quiet you.
Can you talk, Bob? And he puts it up to his ear. I'm assuming nothing, right? Okay. And he's like, are you sure your sword talks? My axe is not saying a word.
Yeah, it's either that or I'm going crazy. I just leave the assumption for you.
Does it talk out loud? And Ulfgar kind of like points at the sword and goes, You there. Come on, say something then.
So in your mind, Tobias, you hear, are you sure you don't want to kill the dwarf?
I'm pretty sure.
I'm pretty sure. Negotiation.
The moment hasn't come quite yet, but soon it's approaching. Ulfgar says, well, apparently whatever conversation it has is not meant for me. Ulfgar actually isn't sure if he's just like, if it's really the sword, or if it's Tobias, or if it's something to do with his connection with Arokh. But I don't know what kind of check he might make to try and piece that together to figure out if the sword might actually be talking.
I would say make an insight.
I think it will be or either Arcana or Insight. Perhaps.
Insight. Because if Ulfgar is trying to figure out if you're crazy or if the sword does actually talk to you, I'm going to go with Insight.
Right.
It's tough to say, but you kind of like, you spent enough time with Tobias that you're leaning towards believing him.
Okay. Because that's his original stance, is believe what Tobias says. He's got no reason not to. And he says, so, what does this sword tell you? I mean, does it give you a weather forecast or something?
Yeah, that will be very grim weather for me.
So in your mind you hear, today the weather will be rainy.
Yeah, but as far as I experience, he is very bloodlusty, so...
Oh, so it's like talking to Valia then?
I just open one eye. I'm like, I just stare at you with the one eye open. Said, well, I mean, it doesn't surprise me that Tobias is crazy and talking to weapons, to be honest. I mean, after all the craziness you've been through, the fire people and stuff, yeah, I think I would talk to things too.
You do talk to things. In fact, we left a feathered one back with the rest of the dwarves there.
Slippy is his own person. Thank you.
See, it's not far off. So hopefully the sword follows your commands then.
Yeah, all in all, you said it consumed somebody? Like some person?
Yeah, probably. But that's what I'm asking you. If I would ever might lose control, just be wary of it.
Lose control, kill you. Okay, got it. It's okay, Tobias. You consider it an honor. I will eat you. I will eat your head first.
Ulfgar says,
thank you,
just
Valia,
calm down.
that's...
I know you get excited about the thought of fresh meat, but seriously.
Yeah, thank you, Valia. That's reassuring.
You got it taste better than those things over that we just left back there.
Chatter says, you people your friend when they were...
You keep cutting out, Kashcah.
Excuse me, what?
Chatter says, you call these people your friends? Apparently they would murder you in a heartbeat.
So can this weapon like manifest itself into any the person it consumed? Or?
No, for the time being, is just chattering.
So
man, I feel sorry for you.
Do you have the sword out, Tobias?
Yeah.
Okay. You see, when Valia asks about if it can manifest it, at the end of the blade appears this small orb of looks like it's made of kind of chrome, and it's reflecting all the different colored lights, and it starts spinning very fast. At first it's just kind of slowly rotating, and then it starts picking up speed, and this is at the end, like the very tip of the blade.
Do all of us see this, or just him?
Yeah, it's very visible.
Look, Tobias, you can see in the dark now with your disco ball sword. Or your, light ball sword. Disco ball.
Ulfgar actually starts to back up a little bit and says, "Is that you?" And he's looking at Tobias. Are you doing that?
Nope.
Does Ulfgar recognize this as a spell that he's familiar with?
Yeah, actually, both you both recognize it as a spell and make an Arcana check. Let you know if you know what spell it is.
Oh crap!
I have no clue on spell, but I do point out. I'm like, Tobias, you remember that I picked that up and handed it to you? It was just a sword. I guess it only likes magic users.
It said that he belonged to the magic user similar to me. That's maybe why why I only hear him talking.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense, but it's a good thing he didn't attach himself to me, because we'd kill a lot of things.
So you both recognize that spell as chromatic.
Chromatic orb.
Interesting.
Okay.
Excuse me, what? Chromatic what?
Chromatic orb?
Chromatic orb here. I will do that. There we go.
Yeah, and I was looking up
the orb.
Yeah.
I've heard aura, so yeah.
Okay, I gotta look it up on my spells because Roll20 is coming up empty since I don't have everything unlocked in there. All right.
So I tell Tobias, I said, you have like a mini Ulfgar talking to you all the time on top of this one, and I just point out Ulfgar.
Yeah, just an evil one that's constantly telling you to
But
kill
if you
things.
go crazy, I would totally understand. I still would eat your head first, if that makes you feel any better.
Ulfgar starts saying, "Watch where you point that thing now. That's a bit dangerous."
There's this kind of this maniacal laughter builds in your head, Tobias, as the orb is spinning faster and faster at the end of the blade, and then the orb disappears, and the laughter just goes silent.
You're pretty wicked. We can work on this.
Ulfgar says, "Are you sure you've got control of that thing?"
Perhaps I will gain control with time.
He says, "We can be partners."
I just look at Tobias. Force! Make it bend to your will.
try feeding it dried fish. Ulfgar says sarcastically.
I just kick Ulfgar in the butt and just go and sit back down.
Great advice.
I was like, it's a possessed sword. It doesn't want fish. It wants blood. Thank you. And it probably likes dwarf blood.
I wouldn't doubt it. A lot of people say that they do. Kind of shoots you a look. When you
It's probably not good for the diet.
When you sheathe the weapon, does it seem to stop talking?
It talks whenever it feels like it.
It's a bit scary. Well, I guess you wield it as you like, and we'll do what we can to try and help you keep control of it and yourself.
It's very much appreciated.
Right, so that's been a lovely talk. Who wants some bacon and eggs? Because I sure could use some, and we don't have any. We've got a last little bit of bat.
Recall bat, it's the best.
Yay. Bat and carrion crawler. Oh.
Alright. Anything anyone do during this rest?
Nope. Recover. That's it.
Yeah, yes, that's it.
Okay.
So everyone to the full health.
During the night, Arokh see in the distance back towards Tinder's lair an occasional kobold face kind of peeking out from the darkness. It's like they're just kind of checking on. They don't approach or anything like that. Throughout the night, Arokh an occasional head peeking up.
Why do you keep cutting out so much? It's
I don't know. Sorry.
That's right.
Maybe it's just where my... There. I will move it.
Okay.
Should I say that bit again?
You said there was a bunch of kobolds that keep on checking on us and throughout the night?
Yep.
I guess I'd ask Gao, what the deal is with the rest of the kobolds if he thinks that they're actually going to listen and exit the mines.
Well, that depends if Arokh is waking to tell you that kobolds
are I thought. Okay, so I did miss that it was just Arokh that saw that.
Sorry.
He didn't. He did not concern the kobold as a danger. While we just killed their queen, leave them just like mountain of gold, and we just are on the way. So he is not concerned about them. And since we have the Gao on our side.
Okay. So the rest. So that's the only thing that Arokh sees during the. So then. At some point, you have no idea again, kind of if it's night or day, or don't really have much of an idea. You feel somewhat rested well enough to recover your health. But you kind of all wake and I think Ulfgar's hut spell will expire at some point.
Yep.
And that might be your cue for how long you've actually been resting. Otherwise, it's really difficult to say.
Right. Well then, it's back on the trail. Start hooking everybody up, and on we go. Onward and upward.
So you're walking.
Then you're in a dungeon. Then you're in a dungeon forest.
And Yeah, sorry, you're going to have to arrange yourselves again. Partway up the hill, up the track, you see two kind of offshoots like this. And could everybody make a perception check for me? And if you could arrange yourselves kind of approximately where you are in relation to the cart. Can we bring that cart, like, can we move it to the front? There we go. Better.
I think
Okay.
Kellisto was bringing up the back, and probably just behind me would be, yeah, something like that. There you go. Oh yeah.
There we go. Do that. Okay.
Throughout the trip to where we've gotten so far, Ulfgar's been singing like an age-old dwarven song. Hi ho, hi ho. It's back to the forge we go. You said a perception?
Yes, please.
I was gonna say somebody.
Somebody, please. You hear some from the tunnel to the right, and with a 25, it sounds like it's something kind of big.
Oh no.
Same as before, Ulfgar puts a hand up for people to stop. Says there's something ahead. He's gonna give a quick peek, stealth up, and have a peek around the corner.
I'm just gonna follow behind him. I'm at this point. I'm just like, let's just get it over.
He tells people to start unhooking themselves from the ropes as before.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so wait, you're stealthing up?
Yes.
Okay, make your stealth roll. Are you stealthing, Valia, or are you just like, screw it? Okay.
Yeah. I might as well just to, entertain Ulfgar.
Oh.
Not that it's gonna matter much. But...
Got my foot kind of caught in the rope a bit.
Okay, so as far as you know, nothing seems to detect you, and you peek around the corner, Ulfgar, and you see, poop, a big meow.
It's a meow monster. No. Is that
Hi, Shouty Boy.
Is it like a giant spidery looking thing?
It is a giant spider.
Is it on the ceiling?
It's on the wall. It's to be busy with its web, as far as you can tell.
Okay.
I just look at Ulfgar. I'm like, what is it?
He says it's a giant spider weaving a web.
I just shake my head. Nope. Back and forth. Nope. Can we just go past it?
There's another tunnel right there of more.
Just keep going. Don't look. Just go.
But we're gonna make too much noise. Getting the cart past.
Oh, boo. That's a bummer. Can I? There you go.
Are you making a handout?
Maybe.
Ulfgar reaches on his back, slowly takes out Bob. Come on, we can take him.
I'm like, you said there's a web. I'm not going in there. It can come out here.
All right, let's lure it out.
Run past the hall and lure it out.
Right, but then I'll get attacked from the other side. Let's bring him around this side.
I lean down and pick up a rock and I hold it up. I'm like shaking my head.
He shakes his head, yes.
I throw the rock over here.
Wait, what are you throwing?
I just picked up a
dwarf.
rock.
Oh,
and
no.
throw it.
I thought you said
not
a rock. I'm like, wait, what? What?
Yeah.
That escalated quickly.
A rock, I choose you.
I think she will be able to pick him up, probably.
Yeah.
It'll be fairly amusing. That was for
Yeah.
sure.
That escalated quickly.
I pick up a good sized stone and throw it. There we go.
Okay.
That was clearly something.
I ready a
We should-
chop action.
We should go roll with that.
Nice.
There we go. Giant spider.
Giant spider.
He just wants to hug you.
So like,
See?
ah.
I can see that. Pick up a rock, throw him, he tail slaps me against the wall.
Alright, so where are you throwing the rock?
That's right here, like in the
Oh,
entrance.
okay.
Trying to
You
learn
just,
it.
like, slam dunking the rock, basically.
Yeah, I'm just like,
Yep.
yeah.
Alright, yeah, spider turns and makes a hissing and kind of backs itself, like you can now see that the spider has like a web covering the whole tunnel, and it kind of backs itself up, so it's like now standing up back on the web.
Ulfgar puts his finger up and gets this really big look on his eyes, and then he starts doing a magical incantation. He casts Major Image, and the process would probably make some sound. But
Hang on. You can cast Major Image of a wall. Just to pretend that this path is sealed and we can go through.
but he makes it look like a kobold starts walking out from where we're at and kind of stands here looking back at the giant spider, and it looks injured.
This kobold walks out perfectly healthy, then suddenly Ulfgar's like, oh, and suddenly
Yep, pretty much. It's just like, oh, my leg. Oh.
Sure hope a spider doesn't come get me.
Exactly.
hang on a second. So the spider, you see
Whoa,
a blob of web is slung for spider.
I try my best to make it look like it got webbed.
Say it again.
I try my best to make it look like the kobold got webbed in the process. It probably looks like the web went right through it, but I would probably try and make it look like it's down and covered in webs. I don't think that I'd be able to catch it that the webs like pass through.
Well, so the next thing, that's gonna happen is gonna give it away, right? Because the spider, so you might succeed in that somewhat, but the spider starts to haul the webbing back, and I don't think there's any way that you could know when that was gonna happen versus when the spider, you know what I mean?
Right. I mean, it's just the kobold's just sitting there looking injured and webbed and not going anywhere. So,
So, and there's gonna be no cue from the spider regarding when it would be hauling this webbed kobold back. So, so immediately it kind of like drops this glob of web and makes a hissing noise again. This great hissing noise from down the tunnel.
Alright, well, that's going on. I pull out my torch and light it and push Ulfgar aside. And I'm going to stand here and throw the torch in.
Whoa!
Okay, are you throwing the torch down like on the ground or at the spider or at the web?
At the webs here, hoping it'll catch everything on fire, including the spider.
Okay, make a ranged attack roll. And that's a lot. That's a lot of text for that major image, isn't it?
Isn't it though? Gosh.
Ranged attack.
I mean, it's a static thing, right? So it's not a particularly high.
Meanwhile, she's like half standing in the illusion of the kobold.
What do I need to roll for ranged attack?
Dexterity plus your proficiency. So you just do a dexterity check, but then you add in a bonus from your proficiency bonus, which I think is +3. Oof.
Jeez.
So the
Well,
did you
The
just
torch
burn me with the torch?
I hurt myself
you
with
like you kind of have to over your shoulder to toss it down there and almost set fire to Ulfgar's beard, and then it kind of like Ulfgar, maybe you let out a cry or something like that and take Valia by surprise, and so the throw falls short and the torch is now kind of like
Well, you broke my concentration. The kobold
Blah.
disappears.
torch.
I just shrug my shoulders and try to step back as quick as I can.
Everybody make another perception check.
Oh boy. Oh boy. We're in for some fun on this one.
Did the torch go out, or is it still lit on the ground?
It's still lit on the ground. Okay. So everybody except Arokh can hear some movement from the other tunnel, it sounds like.
Ulfgar says, "Reinforcements, quick! Retreat to the cart! Take cover! They'll be webbing the lot of us!"
Yeah, if we're all together, they're just gonna web us all together, and we're all really screwed. So I just light another torch. I have one more, and we're gonna try this again.
Okay. All right. Yes, you're able to get it to land in the right spot.
It should be 1.
And okay, and the web does seem to begin to catch a light.
Okay. I was like, phew.
So I don't know about the damage. I was meaning when I said 3 for your proficiency, it's you just add in 3 to hit. Like so
Yeah.
that
Oh,
would
there's
be,
the 3. Oh, okay.
so that'd be like 13 to hit.
Yeah, I'll throw it, and then I'll kind of step back next to Ulf.
If I can...
The spider shrieks.
You just keep stepping over me. Oh yeah.
And I'm trying to think what it would do, because now its web's on fire, but there's also fire in front of it on the ground. So it rotates up to the ceiling, your guys' favorite place for baddies to be, and runs kind of out towards you.
Oh god.
And Ulfgar, it is going to. What would it do first?
It's got
I'm like,
options.
I just yell. I'm like, somebody's got to pull it down.
Toss me.
I just shake my head. I will.
It's gonna try and web you,
Web me.
Ulfgar. And let's roll initiative, because
Right.
we're doing. Oh, spider! What the hell?
Can I use? I don't think I can use luck on that.
Hey, we're not doing much better. Oh, there you go. There you go.
Reroll attack ability or saving throw.
So,
All right, spider, it's me and you.
yeah, right. Let's Kellisto and then Aelia.
I'm just yelling, kill it with fire.
Okay.
Ignore the fact we're in a narrow tunnel. Just kill it with fire.
Alright, let's sort these. Oh, okay. So Spider scuttles forward, tries to web Ulfgar and miss.
Yay.
Tobias, this is what you see. This giant spider running out of this little side tunnel up on the ceiling.
Go, talking sword.
It's on the ceiling. How's he gonna get it on the ceiling?
I'm going to cast Guiding Bolt
Hey.
on the spider.
Okie doke.
That hits.
Oh, just.
Oh yes, yes.
It's gonna be...
On level 1.
Okay.
Ooh.
Wow.
Ooh, damn.
Yeah, the
Dang.
spider lets out a screech as this radiant damage burns it. That is not a happy temper.
And I'm gonna use this spells and heading bolt. That's in the description of this. On a hit. Yeah.
Okay. Right. Okay, yeah, because everybody gets advantage. Okay. Here we go.
And I'm going to use my short sword, the Chatter, for a bonus action.
How are you going to reach it?
Are you throwing your sword?
Try to run up Arok's back.
Do I have to move before casting a spell or after?
It doesn't matter actually. You can do either.
Yeah, it's on this link.
Uh-huh.
I missed that part.
Yeah, it had to go up on the ceiling to avoid the other torch that was on the ground. It didn't want to get close to the fire.
I don't have a ranged weapon, so I'm going to stop on that.
Okay. Kellisto rolls her eyes. Biggest eye roll ever. Puts the brake on the cart and says, "I'll be right there," and starts making her way kind of up around here. She's not going to get in range because yeah, anyway, she'll got plans for next round.
Okay.
Aelia and Gao are going to hang back for now. So Ulfgar.
I ready an action to attack should I or a creature come within range of each other.
Okay.
And then I wait. Kind of cringe a little bit, but then I wait. Actually, you know what I'll do? I will actually, as a bonus action, I will use that. I will give inspiration to Valia in hopes that she'll have a good toss. So.
Okay. Arokh.
Arokh's going to try and jump on it with his claws.
Get it.
Get it.
Get it. Nope.
Don't get it.
And yeah, and he fails.
Okay.
He's not able to reach it.
Okay. Valia.
Okay. It looks like I will rage and kind of squeeze in here and I guess stab it with my javelin.
Okay. That hits.
That's the first one. Ooh,
That does not hit.
Okay. And that's all I have. I think, yeah, that's all I have. A bonus.
Okay. Giant spider. What is... Okay. It's actually because Arokh is at biting height. I know Nair had to worry for a second. But it's gonna try and bite Arokh. Oh, and it misses anyway. So, but the other noise, the other tunnel reveals itself, and you are all going to be completely shocked, I know, when
Mama Spider and Daddy Spider.
another spider comes running out of the other tunnel, and actually no, it's going to stay back a little bit and is going to sling a web at Kellisto, random person, Kellisto. Ooh, hey, come on, over. So web, go. Hang on, I gotta look at like Callisto's ace. Uh-oh.
Her AC is 24.
No, her AC is 13.
24. Doggone it.
Okay, so Callisto is webbed, and she can try to break free on her turn. She wants to break free. Okay, Tobias. Wait, are you back? You are back.
Yeah, I'm back.
So it tried to bite Arokh and missed, and then its friend came around the corner and webbed Kellisto.
Okay. This one is on the ground, he is on ceiling, wall.
He's on the ground, actually.
Okay, so I'm going to target this one.
Okay.
With guiding bolt.
That hits.
And it will be on level 2.
I just realized something, by the way. The claw attack from Arokh was at advantage.
Oh, that's a very good point.
So
yeah, so that 10 would have hit.
That would hit.
Oh, it would have been a 21.
No, not yet. He went before me, right?
Well, because
Arokh.
Yes,
Yeah.
he did.
Yeah, so he didn't. If you're counting my rage, he won't get it until
No,
this next
we're
round.
I'm talking the guiding bolt bonus,
Oh, yeah.
which we never remember.
All right, so that one. So yeah.
So roll for Arokh's attack.
Arokh's claw. Yep. Okay. That one is wounded quite badly.
Okay, and I targeted this one.
Yep, and that one it screeches again as your guiding bolt burns it. So yes, that one is also wounded, not as badly as the other one for sure.
Okay, I'm going to charge forward and attack with the chatter.
Okay.
Stabby.
That misses.
Still a little upset with your previous conversation.
Okay, Kellisto is going to try and remove all this gross sticky web. So strength check. It's just a regular strength check. And fails. I think Aelia is going to come over here and try and assist with the removal of the web. It gets kind of stuck herself.
It's kind of sticky. Be gone, web.
Okay. Ulfgar.
Still can't reach the one that's above me, right?
Right.
Then I'll move up here next to him and attack the other one.
Okay.
With Bob.
Bob.
Oh.
No, you've got advantage because he got hit with guiding bolt.
Oh. Okay. All right then.
Why I'm telling you this, I don't know, because...
Thank you. All right, and then he takes his second attack with Bob. And no, he doesn't get double advantage, so there you go. And then he uses his bonus action to inspire Kellisto.
Okay.
And then he's done.
Get out the damn web, Kellisto.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. please remind me that Kellisto has inspiration if I forget.
I will do so.
Okay, Arokh.
He's going to claw again at this one who is nearly dead.
Mm-hmm. That hits. And just enough to kill him. So Valia, could you make a little dexterity roll to dodge out the way of a falling dead spider, please?
Open wide.
Or open wide.
Can I use my luck?
Yeah, sure. Or you could just eat your way out from under it.
You have. You also have inspiration.
You do from the last, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
The
I
luck.
forgot about
Well, that would be enough to get out of the way. Just behind you.
Well, that you shouldn't have said that because that's actually one of the conditions is that you're not supposed to know the outcome before you decide whether or not you use it. The inspiration. So basically, she would make a roll and decide, do I think that's enough to get out of the way or not? And then she uses it.
I see. Sorry. Okay, sorry. Yep, you're right.
It's okay. I'll keep the advantage.
Alright, Valia, you dodge out of the way of big dead spider falling. What would you like to do now?
I guess I'm going for the one that's on the ground. I'm just gonna beat the crap out of it with my.
I'm in favor of this.
Yep, that hits. Ouch.
Bludgeon that sucker.
Can I use the inspiration with that? Oh, I have to use it before?
Oh, before if you're sure if it hits or not. So basically, if you think the 13 would, she doesn't get to tell you if that hits or not. You have to decide.
I didn't know if it was gonna hit. That's why I was like, can I use that before you tell me?
Yeah?
Yeah, you can use it before I tell you. Yep. Okay, so 17. So that will hit. And you finish it.
Oh, yay. I'm just gonna kick it, because I didn't get to use my unarm. I'm just gonna kick it. Take that!
Ow, 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 ow. What are you doing?
Okay. Yeah, so made short work of 2 spiders.
I just yelled, let's get the hell out of here now.
Smack, smack.
I just immediately run back to the cart. I'm like, oh, wait, hold on. I go back and start scooting them off the track.
Meanwhile, you see Ulfgar is like trying to push one of them and it's not even moving. And he's like, oh, what the heck? And you just kind of like, eh. It just
I
rolls
just make a running push, shove it out, shove the other one out. I'm like, let's go now.
So Kellisto and Aelia are trying to get webbing off.
I gave inspiration to help.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So after some kind of like struggling with it a bit, a little bit more, eventually, and with help from others, yep, she will get the webbing off her.
Yeah, I would be clawing at it.
Yeah.
I pull out a can of webbing be gone.
There is this kind of weird smell from down the tunnel where the web burnt. Like it smells pretty weird.
I collect the torches and give them back to Valia.
Okay. Alright. And you can all kind of hook yourselves back up to the cart and continue forward with it. And oh, sorry. Anything anybody wants to do before go on?
Nope.
I'd probably just like look down each of both of the tunnels to see if we're gonna get ambushed or if there's any victims. I wouldn't like travel very far down them, but
okay. So yeah, down the one where the spider was building her web. You can see kind of the remnants of that, the bones and bits and pieces down there. Looks like they've been eating and living in these tunnels a little bit.
Oh, Kellisto, come over here. There might be some loot.
Wait, loot? Where?
Yes, Kellisto runs forward. What? Huh?
Like hunting dog.
So you guys kick around in the bones for a while, and mostly you find kind of what looks like the remnants of kobolds, some other kind of unfortunate furry animals that have mistakenly made their way down here. But nothing of any particular value.
Bummer. And that's checking both of the tunnels, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Then, yep. Reattach and move on.
Okay. Okay. So for what feels like half of a day, pulling this cart up the tracks, and eventually you see kind of a light up ahead that you recognize, or hope you recognize, as the glow from magma at Hrackhammer filtering down the tunnel to you. And another kind of hour of pulling the cart, and sure enough, it turns out to be correct. That is, Hrackhammer is ahead of you, and you make it back to the forge.
Yay!
When you get back there, you see that where previously... Oh, actually, let me get rid of this turn order. Sorry about that. Clear that and close that. The dwarves have cleared out. They've been busy, basically.
Mm-hmm.
They've cleared out those big striders that were kind of in the way,
Mm-hmm.
and also the kind of how the obstacles have been put in position to keep the striders there. They have cleared that out as well. So those little nooks where you barricaded those striders in, that seems to have been kind of resolved somehow. And you push the cart back up to kind of the entrance where you can see through to the big forge room, where all the molten iron was.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see several of the albino dwarves are kind of busy around the forge. Some of them look like they're doing repairs on mechanisms, that were pouring the molten iron, and so they've been kind of, you can see they're busy working away.
Okay. Announce our return.
Okay.
We return. We're not dead.
Okay. So Scythe comes out to greet you and gives you a hearty handshake, Ulfgar, and says, welcome back. Tell me of the mine, she says.
That was no mine, that was more of a death trap. There were countless things down there that we mostly took care of. There may still be some remnants. There's a kobold infestation, though he motions to the kobold up on Aelia's back, says, we brought one back that seems to be able to...
She interrupts you and says, a hostage?
Says, you could view it as that, but this one's more or less going to help with the rest of them all evacuating out without any issue. So, any remainers will, of course, need to be dealt with by you and your friends if there's any left, but they're pretty much moving out since we took out their queen.
Yeah, when she says a hostage, and you could say that, Aelia kind of stamps a hoof at you a little bit, and
he kind of like does this, like holds his hand up, and he's like, just chill. He's trying to explain the situation before people start getting too ruffled. Says, but he's more or less the our supplanted king into the kobold group, and he saved our lives as well as was a help to us when we fought his queen. At the time, at least, his queen. Tinder, the red dragon, has been killed.
She her eyes get wide and says, she's kind of looking around at the group of you.
Mhm.
You killed the dragon, she says.
Says it was no easy task, but through the help of our friend here, Gao, and he points to the kobold again, or motions towards him, we were able to survive relatively unharmed in the experience and gained a tactical advantage.
Gao gives her this big toothy grin and kind of scowls back at him, like narrows her eyes, and says to you, kobolds are not to be trusted.
And he says, aye, and they don't trust dwarves. But yet here we are. And we just brought him back to give him some reward and send him back to his people so that they can evacuate the rest of the tunnels.
She says,
oh, go on.
She says, reward? What
Says,
do you have in mind, Ulfgar?
We salvaged some coin from the dragon's hoard. It was at the end of the mines, at a large waterfall.
Dwarves.
What's that?
Says, well, that belongs to the dwarves. Belongs to us.
Aye, and he saved us. I'd like to try and use persuasion if I can.
Yeah,
to try and convince her.
Go for it. He's resisting this idea that she owes the kobold something.
Right.
I just mumble, she's not a very nice dwarf.
She's just set in her ways. Ooh.
She needs to get out of those ways. We're the ones who let her have her forge back. We didn't have to. We are also the ones who went and risked our lives to clear their minds. We didn't have to.
Wow, somebody's grumpy.
She says, so you're going to pay the kobold?
And he looks over at Aelia, because I'm sure at some point she might have been hinting at something. Aelia, I think you had something in mind.
Okay, you guys have got to remind me here. Rorax wanted, Aelia wanted a crown forged for Gao. Is that right?
That's what she said.
Okay. So Aelia says, well, in order for Gao to persuade the rest of the kobolds to leave, he needs some token of authority. She says, I think the best token to represent them is a small crown. Perhaps made from some molten silver from these.
Yep.
I have to go.
Tobias tries to persuade her by saying that she's ugly.
Yeah.
Tobias, what were you gonna try and persuade her of?
Yeah, I was more likely, you can do that, or you can pay the kobolds to leave, or do that instead. As Aelia asks.
She says, the kobold can take the silver, but my handiwork won't be adorning any kobold's head anytime soon. She says, Ulfgar, if you wish to work on this yourself, you're welcome to. She says, but I've seen too many of my kin killed by kobolds to ever put forth such a gesture to that.
Ulfgar says, aye, and I've seen many of my kin killed by, and he points over at Kellisto, elves. He points over at Tobias, humans. He says, can't say I've heard of many being killed by Centaur, but I've heard many killed by many races, and I try to be as open-minded as I can. That's why I'm in with the Emerald Enclave. But I'll take your offer, and I'll do what I can with what you offer. Thank you. I appreciate your
We should have left
understanding.
those spiders and those other ugly worms alive for them. They could have dealt with them.
He says, we did clear out quite the menace down in the tunnels. We can tell you more details about all the ins and outs of everything as we go.
Yeah, she'll kind of usher you through the armory room where you guys were before, and as Gal passes, she kind of spits on the floor, but that's all she does. She's just kind of, and she says, "Well, while you've been gone, we have been busy." She says, "As I recall, we had offered payment for your services in form of forging some items from you, adamantine." And she kind of gestures to the table, and you see there your requested items forged from adamantine. So you can add those into your character sheet.
Big eyes.
Yeah, they're very shiny and very pretty. She says, we also, with the help of your friend, reforged the doors for the front, she says, and now we feel we're in a more defensible position, she says, and I have sent word to my kin, and they are on their way. She says, soon, this forge will be full of my family. She says, and then we can head down to make the mine, to do the same to the mine, bring it back to working condition.
Ulfgar bristles with happiness and all the good news and everything, and compliments, and he just kind of like takes her in and just kind of like, puts a hand on her shoulder and starts telling her about all the things that they've done, and going back and forth about all the things that the dwarves did while they were away and stuff, and then Flippy.
Yep, I was gonna say, as you start talking to Sithy, through the door from kind of the area where there was storage comes running Flippy and Valia. Flippy just makes a beeline for you. He just runs up to you and just shoves his head into your chest, and it's just kind of like rubbing his head on your chest, and is very happy bird.
Starts
Yeah,
cutting
just
your chest.
Yeah, just petting him. I'm like, oh, look at you. You got stuck here with the smelly doors. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Flippy kind of looks at you and frowns a little, being like super happy bird that you. And Sithy says, "Oh, she says, I almost forgot, that Flippy was here." She says, because your friend, she says, you've missed them, unfortunately. She says, they have, she said that about half a day ago they left, and asked me to give you this. And she pulls out from a pocket in her kind of, she's got this big leather tunic on. It's clearly like kind of a blacksmith kind of tunic, and she pulls from a pocket in the big leather tunic a scroll, and hands it, or she just holds it out for somebody to take.
Ulfgar grabs it.
Okay.
I'm like, oh, where did they go now?
It's not like a magic scroll. It's like just written, right?
Yep, it's just a piece of parchment like rolled up.
He opens it, reads it out loud.
So the scroll says, "Dear Veronica and friend."
He says, "I think this is addressed to you." But he continues reading.
He says, "Dragonbait and I have a matter to attend to. He says, we cannot stay here any longer without endangering dwarves' lives. He says, so we, we must, unfortunately, we've had to leave before we planned, earlier than we planned. He said, we will meet up with you at Omu. We'll be there in a week, and we'll wait for you, at in the jungle close by.
Okay.
It says, and then at the bottom it's just kind of signed off. Good luck, and then in big, all capital letters is Artus. So
he's got a big signature, that boy. Okay. And Ulfgar just kind of folds it up, puts it in his pocket, and then proceeds to like unload a few items, like the extra battle axe that he had, his old helm, things of that nature, and just kind of like puts it in the armory and whatnot.
Okay. Sithy will kind of look them over as you're like putting them on racks and. Oh yes, this is very good, very good.
The regular battle axe was the one that he took from the armory, so he just returned it.
Yep. Okay.
But then he would proceed to, I guess, once they're all settled and everything, then he'd proceed to start trying to smith the crown.
Okay. Okay. I don't think that's an actual skill, is it?
I have proficiency in with smith's tools.
Yeah, but what the skill? Or does that you just go ahead and make a roll with your proficiency, and we'll see how good or bad this crown is.
Hold on. Smith's tools. It shows up on here, just artisan's tools, etc. Okay. Items, Smith's tools. So I don't think I'm gonna put them in my inventory so that I can click on them and hopefully it'll do something. It does not seem to have wanted to go into my inventory, so I am going to just click on. Can't click on proficiency either.
What did I forget what we used last time. It's not really performance. Oh, it wasn't. I think didn't we just do like a dexterity check or something like that with, and then what does the
It would allow me to add my proficiency bonus.
Okay, so then.
And then I've got Jack of all trades, which would give me an extra 2 on top of that. So it's this plus 5. How's that?
Okay. Okay, so 18.
Oh, that was a save. Sorry.
Oh. Oh, much better.
That plus 5.
Plus 5. Okay. So yeah, I mean, you make this fantastic looking little crown. Out of are you using silver or gold or copper or what?
I'd use silver, like she suggested.
Okay. So yeah, is this fantastic looking crown? It's got like these kind of like little points periodically around the kind of band of it that end in what looks like a little kind of dragon's tail, the end of a dragon's tail. So yeah, you forge a very nice crown for
I try and fit his chain shirt better if he thinks that he can wear it. If he doesn't want it, then I just take it off him and leave it in the armory.
That's a good point. Like, let me look. At I mean his strength. He'll keep it on for now. So yes, I would appreciate it if you would fit it to him. a little better.
All right. Do you want me to roll for that or just leave it?
No, that's fine. Not a particularly difficult thing for you.
Okay. So then, I guess that's sorted. We've got our items and whatnot. We'd want to take a nice long rest and then probably head out, but only after we find out what time of day it is.
I'm going to move you back to the map. There you go, so you don't have to.
All right, I'll get rid of the spider, carrion crawler.
So it is mid-afternoon.
Okay. So probably take it easy the rest of the day and leave first thing in the morning. Down the Valley of Lost Honor towards Raz-Nazi area.
Sure, yeah.
You guys cool with that?
They're thinking about it.
You guys cool with staying here the rest of the evening and then leaving in the morning?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So Gao seems to be acting kind of strangely during kind of the rest of the afternoon and evening. He's just acting a bit odd, like he's not comfortable, and it seems antsy or restless, you know. So you do notice that.
Ulfgar says, "Don't worry, we'll take you back, but we'll take you back a different route. We'll head down the valley here until we come to the opening where the dragon cave opened up, and then you can go down that way, which I'm sure would be a bit safer than going back down the way that you came, unless you prefer to head down that way."
He kind of he does this shrug.
I leave the decision to you, and he kind of like does this little thing.
Have you already given him the crown?
Oh, sorry. I guess yeah. I'd be. Well, here you are. I hereby pronounce you with whatever ability I may have as King of the Kobolds, and he like goes to place the crown upon his head. Actually, he would give it to Aelia to place upon there.
Okay. Yeah, so Aelia, while you're saying that, she lifts the crown to Gao's head, and Gao stands there very kind of proudly and has his little nose in the air a little bit. And for a second, like, it looks like the crown's going to slip off, and he kind of grabs it and makes sure it stays on his head and kind of pulls it on further and is jamming the crown on his head. Yeah, he doesn't take it off the rest of the time that you see him. He is constantly wearing this thing.
He's
very proud.
Find like a bit of a leather strap or something, so he could make sure to put that on it, so it could stay on him easier. I know how fast they move, so they jump around a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if he would let you take it off to fiddle with it more.
Okay. Well, whatever.
Okay. So I think we should stop there though, because kind of a decision coming up that would be good if other folks were here for. So one in particular that I'm thinking of, Aelia, probably be good if she was here. To deal with Gao as you guys decide to go down the valley and see what happens to little Gao at that point. So there, don't forget as well, you've got your adamantine gear. And I think that's it for the session. Yay. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. We didn't die.
Yay.
Sorry, it was kind of a bit of a crawl through the tunnel there.
Oh.
Aren't you glad you rode the carts on the way down?
Yes and no.
Yeah. Well, all right. Well, thanks again, everybody, for coming out, players and viewers alike. And we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.